What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the A7E podcast. This is your host, Adrian. Guys, it is Wednesday today. Today, I take a trip to Florida. It's going to be a 20-hour drive, but I didn't want to leave without getting one podcast in with someone that I met through one of my cousins, Monica Gracia. Name is Arnold. Arnold, thank you for coming in for the podcast, man. I appreciate that.
Thank you for having me here.
For sure.
It's very exciting, a little bit, nervous.
Mm-hmm.
It's my first time doing this, but, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to share my story and let you guys know what drove me to, build my gym clothing brand, Gym Adiktz, and what we do on a daily basis to make sure that we motivate, we inspire others, and we impact our community.
Good, man. So that's guys, that's something that we have for you guys today, and I'm super excited about that. So real quick, Arnold, give me a general background of you, kind of like, I guess maybe where you're from, something like that.
I'm 31 years old at the time. I was born back in 1990. I was born in McAllen. I'm originally from Mission. I've been a law enforcement, most of my time. I've been doing it for about 10 years. I actually started off as I went to medical school first.
Okay.
My parents pushed me to go to medical school.
For like a nurse or doctor?
Well, I just took the nurse assistant program and as a physical therapist, which at the time I didn't see something too convenient for me.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how our parents are.
Yeah.
They try to push the best for you.
Absolutely.
So I took the medical program. After that, I joined the fire department. I did firefighting for about 8 years, and then and the process, I started doing law enforcement as well.
Okay.
So I've been doing law enforcement for about 10 years, since back 2010. So I've always been in that first responder environment.
Okay.
I've always been a person that likes to give back to its community. I'm always looking forward for that next, toy drive or how can we help, somebody in need, especially in our communities here. We have a lot of people that need that extra help.
Absolutely.
So that's what something that we try to do with my gym clothing company. Actually, Gym Adiktz started back in 2017.
2017.
I was working at the Little County Sheriff's Office at the time. At my age, I was 23. Actually, no, I was 25 years old at the time. Okay. When I started there in 2015. In 2017, I went through a car crash accident.
In 2017.
2017,
okay.
Yes. I got rear-ended on Expressway and 10th Street when all that construction was going on.
Okay.
There was heavy traffic that day. Somebody decided to be on their phone, and I got rear-ended.
Pretty hard hit.
Yes, it caused me to herniate my lower back, my 3 lower discs, and it took me about a year to recover. Not only did it herniate my back, I went through a financial situation. I lost my job. I lost my vehicle, and it put me in a spot where a lot of people tend to go into the darkness and they give up. I held on to God's hand, and I started the gym, and I started pushing the gym a little bit more.
Okay. Were you already going to the gym beforehand? Or?
Yes,
okay.
I was already going to the gym, but I wasn't really focused too much till after the accident.
Okay. Right.
That's how Gym Adiktz came about, because through the situation, I was having these dark days where there was days where I couldn't find the light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
Like I said, it was a financial situation. My back was hurt. I couldn't return to work. So I didn't know where to turn. I continued pushing the gym, and it would alleviate my stress. It would keep me in a positive mindset.
Okay.
And I continued going to the gym. From an hour, I started going 2 hours, 3 hours, because that was the place where I could find.
You felt the best.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I continued pushing and pushing until people started asking me, "Hey, how come you're going to the gym so much?" My parents would question it. My wife would question it, like, "Hey, well, what's going on? Like you're going to the gym 2-3 hours a day," and I just used that pain as fuel to motivate, my gym addiction. So that's how Gym Adiktz came about. I have a feeling that, or I feel that everybody that steps into the gym has a different story, whether it's going through a hard time, maybe depression, maybe a health situation, some type of issue that fuels their gym addiction to step into the gym on a daily
I agree.
basis. So that's how Gym Addicts came about. So what I focus now on doing is not only, putting out merchandise out there for people to feel, comfortable in,
Right.
but to also help support them, through these daily issues that we go through,
Right.
as human. We also do a lot of giveaways. Sometimes we'll just step into a gym and we'll randomly give away T-shirts.
Oh, really?
The reason behind this is because if you're going through a tough situation and you're in that mindset, whether do I come to the gym tomorrow? But then if I give you a free T-shirt, I already give you a reason why to come back to the gym tomorrow, because you're already gonna have a new T-shirt to wear tomorrow. So we try to give people that extra reason why to go back into the gym. And then after that, if you push them another day, then they could probably create a better lifestyle.
Absolutely.
So that's one of our main focus. Like I said, we do giveaways. Right now, we're working along with All Star Nutrition.
I go there a lot. So.
We work with Alpha Supplements. That's a branch from All Stars, and with Fork to Fit Kitchen, we partnered up with these businesses to create discount codes that they provide to us, so we can give back to our followers.
Right.
We know that the gym industry or the gym life or the fitness life is kind of expensive. So, even if we can provide you with a small discount, we want to give you that extra reason why not to make excuses and continue going to the gym. Not only we're having our prices affordable or gym clothing, but we also give you that discount from your meals and your supplements, so you can continue pushing through whatever you're going through, because I feel that every day there's something coming up, and we want to give you that push to continue going forward.
Okay.
So that's something that that we do on a daily basis, because just simply what I went through.
Right.
I had nowhere to turn to. I had limited resources or limited people that I could turn to.
Right.
So now we want to provide that extra push for everybody to continue pushing forward. And we want to provide everything there so people can use my story and see our team as motivation and continue pushing forward.
Absolutely. And I think you really do got a good setup. I'm actually curious. So you kind of give a general background of, I guess, like how and why Gymnastics got started. Can you generally walk me through the actual start from scratch, basically from the idea to where it is now? Because we're talking 4 years in, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So walk me through a little bit of how that's going.
So the first time around, I started I have a different business where we have a print shop. We can create basically almost anything. From T-shirts, cups, all these kind of things. So when I started getting into the gym, I thought it was ridiculous for me to go, to a local store, like let's say Academy, and buy apparel for $30-$40.
I agree.
It's a T-shirt. So already having everything set up, I thought that my story was going to be motivational. So I decided to branch off, and we started the gym clothing apparel. The first time around, we started back in 2017, and it lasted for about a year and a half.
Okay.
Through trial and error, it's like everything. We started off, I had built a team, how I have it now. But like I said, I went through failures. I did some mistakes where it ended, so we had to stop it because there was being more negative stuff than positive stuff.
Of course.
Then once we stopped it, the pandemic came around. I stopped it completely. And then at the time I was working with a photographer at the time. His name is, he goes by Menace. He's real known here locally. He's a real great photographer. I had met up with him in late 2020, around September.
Okay.
We sat down. We were gonna shoot a commercial for my printing shop.
Okay.
So he tells me, "Hey, how come you don't rebrand Gym Adiktz? Redesign the logo, because we had this gorilla. I don't know if you guys can see it here in the camera.
Right.
We had the gorilla, and people thought before that he had to be real muscular in order to fit into
Right.
you know,
And some people do get that impression. Right.
into the I guess the apparel.
Yeah.
Some people thought you had to, be a certain level of fitness to,
Mm-hmm.
to buy the apparel, which it wasn't. It's just simply that we hadn't shared the story to how we're doing it now.
Right.
So he gives me the idea of redesigning the logo, bring in something modern, which is what we have on our business page now. Everybody that follows us on Instagram
Right.
under official Geomatics, they should see the modern logo. So he tells me, hey, modernize the logo. Try to focus a little bit more on bringing in like leggings,
Right.
sports bras and stuff for females, joggers, etc.
And this was a photographer that's telling you that?
Yes,
Wow.
he's actually real creative. He does photography and he does music videos. He creates his own music as well. He's
Okay.
he's a real creative guy. So he gives me the idea of doing it, and I remember that day I left, and I told him like, yeah, I don't think so, man. I don't think it's gonna work again. So, but he triggered it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I left, and it just kept playing in my mind.
Yeah.
And it played for like two days. And I reached out to him like, hey, you know what? I think we're gonna do it. It's like I was like, you know what? Cancel the video that we're gonna do for the printing shop,
Right.
and let's set up a photo shoot for Gym Adiktz.
Okay.
So he got excited. He's like, hey, let me know what day we're gonna do this. He got excited. So we redesigned the logo. We modernized it to what we have now, and I started recruiting some of my old athletes.
Right.
So we started off with one of our females. Her name is Valerie Garcia. She's still on her team.
Okay.
And we started off with Miles. He's actually a bodybuilder. He was pursuing bodybuilding at the time.
Okay.
So we started off with them too. We did the first photo shoot. We brought in the first merchandise, and we started pushing local events. We would go set up at local gyms so we could start promoting our brand.
Right.
Little by little, we started from one event, from having I think 2 sales at the time, to having sold out, events,
Really?
and which was very exciting. It was extremely exciting. It was motivating because we started seeing the support.
Of course.
So from having 2 athletes, we recruited 2 more,
Okay.
and we recruited more people. Right now in our team, we have 5 athletes. The athletes consist of people that actually pursue bodybuilding.
Right.
Some of them have done 3, 4, 5 shows.
Okay.
Some of them are pursuing their pro card. And then we have a group of ambassadors.
Right.
The ambassadors help us promote, the gym clothing on their social media. They'll tag the page every time they go to the gym. They'll tag us so other people can see,
Right.
what they wear. So like I said, from having our first event, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that's where we had like 2 sales. We pushed to the next event, 5 sales. And then we continue pushing events, after events, until we were selling out.
Wow.
And that was, like I said, was very motivating. The team that I have now is very supportive.
Okay.
We already launched our online page.
Right.
That's something that we kept pushing. The online page has helped us spread, into other states.
Of course.
We have shipped out to Florida with Monica. We've shipped out to California. We've shipped out to Philadelphia. We shipped out to different places. Little by little, if you stay consistent and you push it, it'll start growing. So that's how we were able to restart again, and now we focus on having local events. Make sure that we go out there. We actually usually invite my whole team, the 5 athletes and the 5 ambassadors. That way, we don't only set up our booth, but we'll go out there as a team and catch a workout with our followers.
Okay.
And me as an owner, I like to go out there and interact with our followers a lot. Even when they send us a message to the page, I like to reply to their comments, to their messages, because I feel the more interaction that you have with them, the more transparent that you are, the more that they support you. Because when do you see these big brands owners, interacting with their followers? Here we're not trying to get money out of people. We're trying to actually influence these people to continue getting a better lifestyle. Right. So I feel that as an owner, me putting myself out there, interacting with our followers, gives them a little bit more transparency, and they're able to feel a little bit more appreciated than not just like, oh, but they just want to sell us merchandise,
I completely
agree. So that's my concept. That's how we continue pushing. We got more stuff coming up for this coming year. We're actually this December we I didn't bring any merchandise because we want to get prepared for January, February, and March.
Okay.
And there's some stuff that we have coming up, so we can give more to our community.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So let me ask you something. So whenever you did your let's say the two sales that you mentioned, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was your first event.
Yes.
Um, talk me a little bit through. Was that something that you expected? How did that make you feel? Basically, going through like a rebrand process, and then seeing that only two sales come about. What was your mindset then? Was it, you know, okay, I expected this. I'm not worried. Or what was it like for you?
I was very excited for the rebranding and
Mm-hmm.
everything that we had brought in. The photo shoot had come out great.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly was expecting a little bit more, and we had, less. But that didn't stop me because we all know that everything in life has to be pursued, and you got to be
Yeah.
consistent. If I would have stopped ever since my first event, if I had seen it as a failure and I'd used it as fuel, then my whole dream would have, crashed in the first event, because I think everybody that stumbles upon their first rock and they stop, then, you just throw everything down the drain. So, yes, it was a little bit disappointing,
Mm-hmm.
but then I went back home, I refocused, I gathered what I thought that I had done wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and then we pushed for different locations. Everybody who goes to different gyms have different mindsets.
I agree.
So maybe if we go to a gym in Westerco, they probably support another brand, but then doesn't mean that if we don't go to McAllen, we cannot get the support. So yes, it was a little bit disappointing, but then like I said,
Stop you.
it didn't stop me. Yeah. So I continued pushing, and now we try to chase events locally,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully we start pushing up north and pursue newer environments.
Would you do that physically, like at
Yes.
like events up north as well?
Yes.
Wow.
Right now we're pushing to do events and like in fitness expos.
Right.
Since most of my athletes compete up north, once they go out and compete, I want to sign up as well to make sure that we can go and support our athletes at the competition, but have our booth,
Of course.
at the expo, at the competition. That way we can go out there and promote our merchandise as well.
Okay. So in the process of all this, obviously, the decent creative part came from the photographer that you hired for
Yes.
the printing shop. You guys rebranded. Did you ever feel like you were like doing this alone? Did you have help right away, or like how was the process in that sense?
I never felt alone because I saw the support immediately.
Okay.
Just by him telling me, "Hey, you guys have a lot of potential. How
Okay.
you did it the first time," I felt that a guy was giving me a sign right there and then. Because if he wouldn't have seen the potential, then maybe other people wouldn't have seen it.
I
And if
agree.
he told me, it's because he saw that the brand and the name had a lot of potential
Yeah.
to grow. So once we started, pushing and being consistent, and I was able to fix the first mistakes that I did the first time around,
Mm-hmm.
we started seeing more support. And then, like I said, just simply the fact of me showing up to these events and interacting with the followers, it gave them a better understanding of what we were doing,
Right.
and they started supporting more and more. Then we started launching our social media, our Instagram page, and we started seeing the support even more.
Okay.
So that what kept fueling my motivation to staying consistent. And even now, we're still transitioning some stuff,
Yeah.
from having raw pictures to having studio pictures,
Mm-hmm.
and you see the difference. As a matter of fact, I work with Juan, the owner of Top Gym in Westerco,
Okay.
and I went out there this past week, and the very first thing that he told me when I saw him was, "Hey, I like how the pictures are coming out."
Mm.
So all that I hear it, I intake it, and it motivates me to continue pushing.
Right.
Because you see the support.
Of course.
You see the support, and there's going to be days where there's going to be minimal support,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't let it stop you. If you have a vision and it's going to succeed, you're just going to continue pushing.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I did see some support at the beginning, and we've been seeing it more now that we've grown a little bit more.
I think the biggest part of what you just said, I like the way you said it, was basically you have to pursue something and stay consistent with it. Because I think you are right. I think there's a lot of, I want to include myself in that because I have gone through so many ups and downs in regards. I'm a person that likes to experiment with opportunities, right? If I see an opportunity and I think it could be good, I go for it. And like I experience the opportunity, right? And then if I'm in it and however it goes, I make a decision if it's for me, if it's not. But I do recall sometimes that I have gone through an opportunity. I would go through my first challenge or obstacle or stumble upon that first rock, and man, I would get like massively disappointed and massively discouraged, and I would immediately start doubting myself, right? And I truly believe that doubt is the one that kills, dreams more than anything else. Like
Yes.
fear and doubt is the things. I think fear and doubt kill more dreams than actual failures do, because it's a mindset that people have to have. And I like that you have it because you can tell the way you're talking to me, you see that vision, and you can tell that no matter what, you're going after it.
Yes.
Right. And I think that's the mindset that most people have to have, and that the most people don't have. And that's why they give up so early. I mean, I can't imagine how many dreams weren't accomplished simply because people stopped at the first sign of challenge,
Uh, it's it's like you said right now. I've stumbled so many times.
Mm.
There's been times where not only I stumble on my business side, it could be on my personal side, but you gotta see things the positive way. Everything happens for a reason. So if you stumble, my best advice is continue pushing. If you really want to pursue that dream, you gotta stay consistent behind it. Why? Because life is gonna throw you so many challenges at you to try to stop you, but you got to stay consistent. And everybody that's in the fitness industry that goes to the gym, they know that if they want to see results, you got to stay consistent. You got to stay consistent on the weights, on your meals, on your supplements. You cannot say, hey, you know what, I'm going to take 2-3 days off the gym and want to see results. You can't. So it all starts with your mindset, and it also has to do a lot with the people you surround with.
Ooh, yeah.
That plays a big key, because if you surround with people that are going to be negative and are going to tell you, no, why are you doing that? You didn't sell out the last time. You only sold 5 pieces.
That's true.
Why are you going to continue? You're just throwing your money away. Just do something else. So if you let that people bring you down or change your mindset, then they're already killing your dream.
Absolutely.
And like you said, it's got to do all with your mindset. If you keep that mindset and drive, if you keep it positively, if you surround yourself with people that have the same mindset as you, then you're gonna be able to push forward even more. Like going back to my team, how I said they're very supportive.
Yeah.
All these guys have a real positive mindset. All have their different characteristics. They all bring something to the table, and I think that's what's also helped us, become successful, because not only am I pushing the brand myself, but then I got these ambassadors and athletes that also like to push forward, and that's what helped us out. Grow a little bit more than just doing it me by myself. So it all goes back to that too. If we would have somebody in the team that was negative, and it was kind of like draining the team, that we would have an issue. But
Absolutely.
so I think my best advice, to anybody listening today would be, stay consistent and pursue your dreams. Like no matter what, you gotta keep that mindset and drive, and just continue pushing. We're gonna have bad days. Everybody does. I
Yeah.
have some bad days or there's sometimes where my alarm goes off in the morning. Usually Mondays, I gotta wake up at 4 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning to go to the gym at 5, and the alarm goes off, and my body tells me wake up, but my mind tells me nah, stay asleep for another hour. I go to work at 7.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, do I wake up? Do I wake up how my body's telling me, or do I stay asleep how my mind is telling me just to get some more rest?
Yeah.
So as soon as my alarm goes off, instead of thinking anything negative, I get up from bed, go wash my face, and just get my mindset going. Because if I stay in bed for an extra 5 minutes, then that's it.
Yeah.
My body's gonna tell me just stay asleep, and I'm gonna snooze my alarm, and there goes the hour that I could have gone to the gym.
Yeah.
And you set the tone real early in the day. You got to learn how to win your days real early. You wake up early, you set the tone, you go to the gym or get some exercise or listen to something positive in the morning, and that helps a lot. I'm a real big believer that, if you listen to something positive or set your tone of the day real early, that's something that I learned from my guys too. It helps you.
Yeah.
That if you wake up and you're like, oh, it's not my day today, I feel draggy, I feel tired, then you already started on the wrong side of the bed. So you're just gonna continue pushing and staying consistent.
So yeah, so you were telling me basically, so you struggle sometimes, right, to get out of
Yes.
bed, man. Like sometimes, for me personally, like whenever I struggle to get out of bed, because I sometimes feel like I'm the only one. I feel because whenever I think people have this thing like when they go on social media, unconsciously or subconsciously, they compare themselves a lot, right, to other people who are successful or doing better, or basically consistently put a highlight reel of themselves on social media, right? And sometimes I see like the people go to the gym every day and they're doing well with their meals, and I subconsciously compare myself, and I see that as a goal, right? When somebody's doing that good or doing very well, I see that as a place where I can go to. But then I get to a point where I compare my now to their now, and it's like I kind of put myself in a box where I'm like, man, am I really struggling to get out of bed? Like, am I not good enough to get those results? Like, why am I struggling? Like, I don't think those people struggle because like they look very successful on social media. So to hear you say that, it kind of makes me feel, a little bit better to know that people do struggle, it can be as simple as going to the gym every morning and basically having to convince themselves or fight themselves to get out of bed to get there.
Yeah, I think everybody struggles. I think social media plays a big role on how people think nowadays, and you can't compare yourself to anybody else, because you're your own competition. Anybody that the person you see in the mirror, that that's your competition. So you just gotta make sure that you're better than the person you were before. So yes, I do struggle. Sometimes I struggle with my meals, or and like I said, I'll feel tired. As a matter of fact, about 2 months ago, from what the schedule that I have now, I was working the night shift, so I would have to get out at 7 in the morning, go to bed, sleep for 2-3 hours, and then wake up because we were having meetings left and right.
For the brand.
Yes,
Wow.
trying to get the partnership with Fork to Fit Kitchen, trying to get everything going with the marketing team that we had at the time. So it was hard, it was hard, but in my mindset was, if I really want this to work, I gotta push, So if I want for this to succeed, then that means that I gotta risk or sacrifice that, sleeping time.
I agree.
If I'm gonna sleep 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, then that means that it's gonna delay me already in the day, and I'm not gonna accomplish what I want.
All right.
So we go back to the consistency, And yes, there were some days that my alarm would go off, and I would say, you know what, like, I think I'm just not gonna get up today. But then my mind would tell me like, no, you got this thing going on, so you gotta get up, and if you really want it, you'll do it. And yes, I've had those days where like you say, you compare yourself to somebody else, and you see all these people, real big on Instagram or social media, but then you got to stay in your lane and just just continue staying consistent, continue pushing your goals, and I think that's the best thing that you can do, because if you start comparing yourself to somebody else, then you're going to put yourself down, and you don't want that. You don't want to put yourself in a place where you're going to be like, you know what, they're already doing great, man. I'm probably not as good as them, and you're gonna end up ruining your own dreams.
Yeah.
So I think that's the best thing that you can do. Just get up in the morning, try to stay focused. That's one of the main things.
Yeah.
Consistent, and continue pushing your goals.
Yeah, man. I think that goes for pretty much everything in life, man. I definitely think that there's people out there who really want to do something, like who really have that itch in the back of the head, that creative aspect that talks to them, that tries to manifest into the life, but there's just something about their behavior, their habits, that don't let that come to fruition, or even to begin the process of maybe chasing that dream. I know I really feel like us as people, like I really do, that there's something special about us as individuals, and I feel that as individuals we each have this thing that we can bring to this table called the world or life. I really feel like we all possess something, whether that be constant creativity, whether that just be the ability to have a conversation, to bring something out of somebody, to build a brand, something. But I I don't think that everybody is able to even try to pursue that in the first place because they're not aware enough of their behaviors. They're not aware enough of their habits or bad habits that they've created basically out of thin air. Because like social media, like you mentioned, nowadays social media, TV, movies have so much influence in our lives, and they take up so much of our time and of our lives if we're not aware, right? I compare myself to when I was younger to basically how I am now. When I was younger, my parents were basically, they did the best with what they knew, but I was brought up on very bad nutrition. I was brought up on watching TV every chance I got. If it wasn't school, it was TV, right? When I come back home from school, and if it wasn't TV, it was playing video games. And then now I compare myself because I really made a true effort. I really took a step back, and I thought to myself, growing up, it's like, I want to do something more in my life, right? But there's no way that I can get anything done if most of my time is being taken up by social media, by television, by going to the movies, by just watching TV. I have no time to do that. So where is it that I need to make time? And the obvious answer was I need to step away from doing these things that aren't benefiting my life so much, right? Mm-hmm. So then I started cutting out the TV, the movies, and things like that. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy me some movies, man. Like sometimes I'll get on Netflix and I'll watch me my shows, to kind of relax. But whenever I started pursuing basically my creative side, which was wanting to do a podcast, things like that. I mean, I got into business as well. I used to have a marketing business here in the Valley in 2017, which was my first business I ever got into. I loved the idea of business, but I didn't even know much about it. So I kind of invested in the franchise, had the challenge, obstacles up and down. Things went south pretty fast. But I pushed through even through the times that were very difficult. And I started to realize that, wow, this actually takes more work than what people make it seem like on social media. Mm-hmm. Like you see people on social media with their businesses, their brands and things like that. And you think to yourself, oh man, they got lucky, or, oh man, it must be easy for them. Right. But you really don't get to see what goes on behind, behind closed doors. And so you're giving me, I had that experience as well, but you're also giving me a first take on, having to miss out on sleep and things like that. And the reason I say that, man, is because I truly believe that there's something in everybody that they can bring to their own life that can affect other people in a very positive way. Yes. But they'll never be able to bring it out unless they step back, take a moment to look at their life in general and see, okay, what is keeping me from wanting to start or even pursue this one thing that I really want to do. And I think that if people just took some time and just really stepped away from the phone for a bit, just really talk to themselves, because I'm actually a big person that has long conversations with myself, man. Like without my phone or the computer, like I'll talk to myself and be like, hey, like I talk to myself in two different types of voices, right? Me and then whoever it is that I'm talking to. And then, I bounce ideas off and I keep it real with myself and be like, oh man, look, you don't deserve that because you're not working for it. Exactly. Or you do deserve that because you've been working for it. And sometimes, there are things out there that you deserve that you don't get because for whatever reason. And there's people out there who get things that they don't deserve. But at the end of the day, the highest possibility or probability that you succeed is by being consistent towards the things that you actually want to do.
Yes. And I think that, God's timing is perfect. Sometimes you might feel like it's already your time, but if the man upstairs doesn't say, no, it's not yet, maybe it's going to come down the road. So that's one of the things why I don't stop. Because maybe, yes, we go through stumbles here and there. And a lot of things that, like you said, people don't know what happens on closed doors. They see everything that goes on my social media. They see that we're posting, that we're doing events, that, we're doing this with, or business partners, that, we're doing a giveaway left and right. But they don't know that at home, I print out my own logos. We do our own tagging. We do our own bagging. We ship out the stuff, from our own shop. So we do everything in-house. We don't pay nobody else to do none of the stuff. So if I work an 8-hour shift at night, then I gotta come home, sleep 2-3 hours, and if we get new merchandise and we get to brand everything, I gotta wake up and start working. Me as an owner, I do everything firsthand because I want to do it. I want for these people to feel appreciated. I don't want to pay somebody else to do it, and maybe I don't like the way they do it.
Yeah.
So yes, we go through a whole process. Sometimes there's days where I work throughout the whole day. Sometimes I work a morning shift, get out, and then go home and start working on the merchandise, and it takes me up the whole day. Sometimes I don't get to watch TV. I don't get to enjoy a movie. Sometimes I don't get time to spend time with my kids.
Yeah.
And there's stuff that you got to sacrifice a
I
little
agree.
bit in order for you to make your business, succeed. So yes, we do go through a lot of process, and sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I get I guess a little bit frustrated because
Yeah.
it's tons of work. But then I get over it, and I take a step back, like you said. I refocus, think positive, and just continue pushing. And then the reward comes afterwards when you start seeing people sending you messages like,
Yeah.
hey, I love the sports bra, or I love this, or this logo came out, so nice where you guys placed it, and that makes me feel good. So yes, I agree with you.
Good. Good, man. That's awesome to hear. So tell me a little bit. What is it that, stepping away from Gymnastics for a bit, tell me a little bit something about yourself. Before Gymnastics got started, a little bit about some things that, was it always a gym brand that you wanted to do? I know that you mentioned in 2017 it kind of came about. It was born. And I know that you've been into the first responder field pretty much majority of your life.
Yes.
Was that always you?
Well, I started my first responding, career started since 2010, up to now, which has been about 10, 11 years,
Yeah.
roughly. I always wanted to open up a food business.
Oh, okay.
That was always my thing, because actually my grandma has her own food business. One of her brothers has a food business, and I've always liked cooking. Cooking is one of my things.
Yeah.
I like cooking. I love barbecuing.
Okay.
Who out here, who doesn't want to barbecue?
Yeah.
And the opportunity just came. The opportunity came around. To start up the clothing business, and I took it. Actually, I had gone to. I go to this gym over there in Mission. It's called the RGB Powerhouse.
Okay.
And my friend, the owner Mario, he owns a health nut there in Palmview as well.
Okay.
It's a supplement store, and they do shakes and stuff.
Real quick, so I've seen actually couple of health nuts. Are they all affiliated with the same owner? Because I did see one. My brother lives in Mission as well, but like by mile 3 or something like that. His apartment is literally 2 feet from a health nut, but it's a different logo.
Okay, it's probably that one. That's
Okay.
that's if it's the one on 3 Mile Line close to La Homa.
Yeah, I think so.
That's my friend Mario and Javi Marquez.
Okay.
They own that one, and they own another one in La Jolla.
Okay.
They're also the owners of the RGB Powerhouse.
Okay.
And I've known them for quite a while now. So going back to how the opportunity came around. One of my good friends, his name is George. He's actually one of the trainers for the RGB Powerhouse.
Okay.
We started talking, and somehow we ended up saying like, hey, since we would work out together, like, hey, how we don't make shirts, so we can wear to the gym. I can make the shirts at home since I already have the print shop. And then the idea came up like, hey, you know what? Why don't we just, do a gym clothing brand? And we started off with simple T-shirts, like the one that I'm wearing right now. We started putting motivational quotes on the shirts with Gym Adiktz on the back, or the Gym Adiktz in the front and a motivational quote on the back. And like I said, the first time around it was just T-shirts, tank tops for girls, and that's how the opportunity came around. But yes, I've always been in the first responder field. I've always been that person that likes giving back to people, to the community. In any way that I can, I've always tried to be there for everybody that comes across my path. I feel that if God puts somebody in my path, it's for a reason. it could be a lesson. It could be, a better opportunity. We don't know, right? But anybody that comes to me, and if they're having some type of struggle, I try to motivate them, and try to help them in whatever that they're going through.
Cool. Good. So let me ask you this then. Back to Gymatics. How does so we're in 2020 right now. How does the next 5 years look for Gymatics? What is your big hope? What is your plan for Gymatics moving forward?
Right now, I feel that this year was the trial and error of the rebranding.
Okay.
Because we did go through some good months where we saw more profit than others. We saw that one of my things has been that I'll bring in merchandise, and if you got it, you got it. We're not going to bring it back again.
Oh, really?
So that concept has been helping us out a lot, because people know that we're not going to restock again. So if they really like what we're going to release for, like, let's say January,
Yeah.
we'll start promoting it like 2 weeks before. So if they see it and they like it, they're going to jump on it because they know it's not going to come back again.
That's a good idea, man.
So I feel that within the next 5 years, my ultimate goal is to have a gym that is going to have everything, in it. Not only, the gym, but since I already have, my athletes, some of these guys do personal training, for a living. So the ultimate goal is to have a gym with the trainers. I know one of my ex-athletes, Jasmine, she also does posing. Hopefully we're able to get her back so she can do some posting classes, in her gym facility. And we already have partnership with, the meal prep
Right.
place with the supplements. So the ultimate goal is within the next 5 years, have a gym where Gym Adiktz can offer everything, to the community, from the gym to apparel to meal preps, supplements,
Yeah.
and the training included. You get everything in one package. The person doesn't have to travel nowhere, but because they're gonna get everything under one roof.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go to the gym and then have to travel to go grab a meal, and then, or if you need supplements, having to drive to go get the supplements because everything's already gonna be there.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we want to be in the next 5 years.
Man, that's a good idea. That's actually a really good idea, because now I'm thinking to myself, man, I've never gone to a gym where I can get everything that I need in that gym. I go to the gym, I work out. Maybe they have a shake, maybe not. Maybe they have some snacks. Maybe they have a little bit of supplements, but they don't have everything in one. That's a good idea. Good, man. So how did these partnerships come about with All Star, Fork to
Fit.
Yep.
All Stars came about. One of my athletes, Pete,
Okay.
Pete Salazar. He we recruited him, to sponsor him because he's going to compete, and he introduced me to the owners from All Stars. We started promoting, their supplements. Once they felt they had the trust in us, they decided to give us the discount code, and this took us months. Like, this wasn't like,
It wasn't like,
you know,
hey,
like
let's partner. Okay, cool.
just not because they knew Pete was like, oh, you know what, yeah, cool. Like, no, like, it took us, quite a
Awesome.
work. So we had to, like going back to the consistency, we had to be consistent.
Yeah.
Even to today, we're consistent. We try to promote our discount codes at least 2-3 times out of the week, so our followers, or if we gain new followers, they're able to see that we have these partnerships, and they're able to take advantage of the discount codes. If I'm not mistaken, I think All Stars and Alpha Supplements took us about a good 2-3 months to be able to get the partnership with.
Okay.
And then Fork to Fit Kitchen, it took us about a good month and a half. Mr. Alex Velasco, he's a real cook guy, but he's really focused on his business, and he you gotta earn his trust.
He's pretty
before,
sharp.
Yes,
Pretty
before he lets you in working into his business,
Yeah.
because these already established businesses, they got tons of followers, so what could my brand offer so they can make this partnership, So we had to gain their trust. We had to be consistent so we can show them that they're able to trust us and helping them not only by giving us a discount code, but helping them promote and grow their business as well. So yes, it wasn't something that they would just hand it to us. We had to work for it.
That's cool, man. The reason I asked is because whenever I had my business, so obviously my business was a little bit more different. I would go up to business owners and I say, hey, do you need some marketing? It wasn't like your typical marketing. It was very hyper local. So basically, I would go to you and say, Arnold, you need some marketing? Yeah, then why not? What do you got? Okay, so essentially, I would just um, you would give me like a design that you wanted to do. It was like a coupon or a discount code as well, that I was able to design with very high quality. It was very good. And it was like it's like a door hanger, right? So essentially there was 10 slots, and I did a pretty good job in getting big businesses in the areas. So I had like Cold Stone on there. I had I don't know if you Kolache Factory,
Okay.
Bob Stark Steak, whatever. I had like quite a good business. So you as a business owner, especially if you were like pretty local, you would see that I had decent sized businesses on the same door handle. So your slot would be next to, let's say, like a Domino's or a Pizza Hut as well. And you knew that whoever got this door hanger, they would at least be interested in something like a Pizza Hut or Domino's. But since your brand was right below or above them, you would at least get an impression from them, right? You would at least get them to see your brand, even if it was like for 5 to 10 seconds. So what we did was we did 15,000 of those. So we did 15,000 of those, and we distributed them over the area of 2 to 3 miles from your location, if you had one, right? If you were like had an office, or if you were home base, whatever, or if you simply just wanted to bring awareness. But for example, like for Kolache factories, we would get to the map, and we would kind of draw out where 2 to 3 miles was from them, and we would distribute 15,000 of those door hanger flyers to residents, right? So, and the reason I asked was because mine was different. It was difficult for me, but I like talking to new people, especially when there's an opportunity there to do business. So I spoke to so many business owners here in McAllen. It was crazy. But for me, it was like, hey, I got this. Are you interested? Yeah, boom, partner, right?
Yeah.
But now you're telling me yours is way different than that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, like I said, like these are already established businesses, if I'm mistaken, Fork to Fit Kitchen has already been, for a couple of years. All
yeah,
Stars, already has their years under their belt as well. And like I said, we rebranded again. So basically, we restarted all over again. We were basically unknown to them.
yeah,
So we had to gain their trust. We had to show them that we were serious about what we wanted to do and where we're headed to, so that we can gain their trust. It was not just something that it was handed to us. Um, and I think we're the only brand around here that has partnership with other local businesses and offers back to the followers, because I don't think there's any other brand around here, even bigger brands.
yeah,
They don't do these kind of things. And the reason why I do it is because I go to the gym. I buy meal preps, I buy supplements and stuff,
yeah,
and I know it's expensive.
yeah.
So why not help back our followers? If they're supporting me, why can I help them back on giving them a small discount code by partnering up with other local businesses? And I think that's what helps us out a lot as well.
So I want to basically confirm to everybody how marketing advertising works. So you've been around for a while, and it is possible that I did hear about Geomatics, let's say from social media or somewhere. Maybe I saw the logo, but I didn't pay too much attention to it, just as anything else that's new for the person. But then I saw my cousin Monica wearing it, and I was like, wow, that clothes actually looks pretty good. My fiance also mentioned it as well. She was like, hey, what brand is that? And then when I asked my cousin about it, she said, oh, that's local. Like, that's close to you. I was like, really? She's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, that's that's really cool. She's like, yeah, I spoke to the owner, yada yada. And I was like, all right. And then coincidentally, not too long after that, you guys, I guess, put like a booth up at the McAllen Gold's Gym, right? And then when I saw Gymatics there, like it kind of just clicked more. Like it became, I don't know if the word is more like legit, because I saw it like somewhere else, and then I saw it like in the booth, and then everything was just like, wow, Gymatics. So I started paying more attention to Gymatics. I really started looking at the logo. I started looking at because Monica let me see one of your shirts. I think it's a cutoff sleeve as well, and the quality is good, man. And I was like, yo, this quality is really good, and I like the logo a lot. So I actually started like connecting a little bit to it more than I would have if I didn't see it on someone like my cousin or somebody else. So I can see the benefit, and investing in ambassadors that get to kind of show your brand a little bit, because if people see it on other people and then they come to, run into it in person, then a real connection can be made.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that we try to focus on as well. Actually, this year that went by, we were focusing like on one event at a time. This coming year, we want to focus at least on having two events, hopefully three events running at the same time, because since we're still a growing company, like you said, it's a little bit harder for you to pay attention since we're still in the growing process. But then if you see us at a local gym and you're able to see the quality of the material and you get a feeling for it, you make a better connection.
Yeah.
So most definitely, that's one of our goals this coming year. And yes, I think our quality is really up to par with the big brands like Gymshark,
Yeah.
Off Elite and stuff.
I agree.
So most definitely, that's one of the goals that we have for this coming year. So we're able to connect with more people, and they're able to make a connection with the apparel.
Good. So Arnold, man, can you believe that this little segment right here was already 25 minutes? Gosh, I thought we were like 10 minutes in, man. But guys, we're getting to the end of the podcast episode. Arnold, this was honestly, no offense to whoever's been on my podcast already, but this is one of my favorite episodes so far, man. Thank you so much for coming out. I'm sorry to cut it short because I still have more questions. So hopefully maybe in the future, after a little bit more of your progress or your journey, you can come back, man, and kind of keep us updated.
Yeah, for sure.
And,
most definitely, I'll be available to come out here, anytime and continue sharing our growth. I want to thank you for having me today. I also want to take the time to thank, everybody in my team, from our designers, from all the business partners that we have, All Star Nutrition, Alpha Supplements, Fork to Fit Kitchen, Mr. Alex Sims from All Stars, Alex Velasco, the RGV Powerhouse, the Marquez brothers, my team in general, Mr. Juan from Top J. Everybody has been working with us and supported us. I thank them a lot because if they wouldn't have seen, that potential in us, we wouldn't have been able to make all this, succeed. Everybody that follows us on Instagram and shows us their support, a big thank you to everybody. And thanks again for having me here today.
Absolutely. And guys, I'm going to do my very best. I'm still not a pro yet at the editing part, but I am going to try and do, at least in the description, I'll put in the official Gymnastics Instagram and also Arnold's personal Instagram. Guys, go shoot them a follow. Go. I'm assuming in the Instagram you have the link to your
to the website.
Yes. Guys, go take a look at that. If you're into the fitness, even if you're not, man, the quality of the shirts are ridiculous. Like, it's something that you can even wear around the house. You get to kind of just feel good in it. So, but especially if you go to the gym, I definitely think it's something that's worth wearing. Looks really good at the same time. So, make sure you guys go and do that. And again, guys, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the A7E podcast. Guys, we're on episode 13. Slowly but surely, one episode at a time. We'll get there. Thank you so much for watching. This is your host, Adrian, and we will see you guys later.
Thank you.